Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. Love this deck. I think a friend of mine suggested it. I'm not sure. I have to ask her when I see her next. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. I think these go well together because it seems to me they're very truthful. They try to do the half full, optimism, yet they'll still tell you the truth. You know what I mean? Kind of like you're headed towards a brick wall, but here's how you could avoid it. Like it's truthful. It seems like they're truthful to me. That being said, are we gonna have a? Oh, that's good. Okay, I don't think this is gonna be bad. Cause for a minute there, I was like brick wall. Like, why are we talking about brick walls? No, I think this, especially that card right there. You have the organization card coming up, and that is really powerful for Earth signs. You're Capricorn. Capricorn is an Earth sign, so you make good on organization. You make real good on that. Makes perfect sense usually to Capricorn. Like, yeah, you keep things orderly, things work out the way they're supposed to. For the most part, Starting off, you have joy. You have a really good energy here. Is this going to be like a sunshine rainbow reading? Because now that I'm looking at it, you got a lot of good cards here. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm just like, wow, this might be really good. Now that I'm looking, I'm like, we're starting off with joy. You're happy. You're in your element. Whatever's going on here, it's going, like, especially with that organization at the end, it's kind of like things are where you expect them to be. Sometimes that's the trick for Capricorn. Kind of like you're happy because, like, yeah, it's working out the way I thought it would. It's working out the way it should. It makes sense the way it's working out because 1 + 2 = 3, 3 + 4 = 7, 7 + 5 equals, whatever. You just kind of like, yeah, it all adds up. You keep working it together. You add these together. You add that with this. You add that with that. You keep adding things together the way they're supposed to go. You see how you can see where they're going to be. You're like, yeah, this is working out correctly. And I think that's the reason why we use that analogy, like 1 + 2 = 3, 3 + 3 = 6, 6 + 7 = 13, or whatever you want to do. But it's kind of like, it's not the most simple equation, but you're like, no, that makes sense, because you already added this in, so now you're going to add that in. Now you added that in, now you're going to add this in. You know what you're doing. I don't think of Capricorn as simple anyway. Like, you tend to understand the more complex things because you take your time to really sort them out and make sense of them. Kind of like, okay, all this makes sense because of that. And you know what you're doing with more complicated things. You also tend to take your time with it. So, like, while other people might know the surface level of something, you know the ins and outs, I would say. Let me know in the comments if that's true, because I think Capricorn does that. Kind of like, I don't just get involved in the little surface level. I want to know the nuts and bolts of like why that is even there and why that works with this. I think, like, because you guys are foundation people, I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Let me know. You got good cheer with True Love Come to Me. People know that they can depend on you. Well, this is nothing new. Good cheer. Like, it's almost like you're happy, everybody's happy. You might have been helping people stay on track. And I feel like people might be seeing your value. Kind of like, you know what? That Capricorn can be a little bit difficult sometimes because they always make us stay on plan. But at this point, they're like, you know what? We're very thankful that Capricorn is difficult, because if they wouldn't, we wouldn't be on plan. If we didn't stay on plan, we wouldn't be enjoying this right now. So let's be thankful for that Capricorn, because they didn't just let it go to the side. They didn't just let us just slide through it and screw it up. They kept us on plan. That's why we're enjoying this right now. And it seems like you're getting the accolades you deserve at this moment. I feel like some of you are going to be saying that that's a rare moment, but at least it's happening. I don't know why I'm getting that, but it's coming through like, well, that's a rare moment. At least it's happening. Now, this is good energy. We're still got good energy. What's coming in next is what I want to know. Sounds good enough. You got the 6 of Cups. Are you going to go into another bout with this person? Like, you're going to go into another cycle with this person? This is the interesting thing. They've acknowledged that your energy has made it made the situation a success. They've also seemed to have acknowledged that they found it difficult through a lot of the situation. So they're taking a moment here to step out with the Hermit card and kind of like, they're stepping back and they're going, yeah, there's success with the Capricorn, but do I have to do it that way? Is there a different way to get success more to my liking? And I feel like they have to look at their own personal history, especially with that Six of Cups, which is actually here. They have to look at their own personal history. Have I had other people help me before? Have I done this on my own? Have I attained the level of success that I attained with the Capricorn before? I feel like they know that if they don't go with you again on this next round, they're taking a gamble. And they can look at their own history, kind of like if they're going to do it on their own, they're kind of like, well, I get so far, then I get bored, and then I change, and I do something else, and then I don't come back to the situation, and it fails. So I guess I don't want to depend on myself. That's not all of them, but they're looking at it different ways. Or they're like, sometimes I stick through, sometimes I don't. But if I want to guarantee this is going to work out, I need to partner up with the Capricorn again, because they're not going to allow it. They're not going to put in their energy just to be like, oh, I guess it didn't work out. They're not going to allow that. They're going to force us to stay with it. So if I want the guaranteed success, I should go with the Capricorn, but I also have to accept the Capricorn isn't going to let me just, flake away when I want to. They're going to hold me to it and make me stay and make me work when I don't want to. Which, that's how you get success. You've got peace with the Aphrodite's love spell. Whoever this is, you're like, yeah, I can handle them. Because they don't seem to push too hard. Like when you're kind of like, listen, get up, we got to keep going. Nope, we're not quitting now. We got a couple more hours. Get back up, get over there and keep working. Nope, we got to do it again tomorrow. You better show up tomorrow. Make sure you show up on time because we're going to start. You're not mean, but you're like very like, you got purpose. You got a lot of energy behind that. Like, Liz, listen, if I show up on time and start working, you better show up on time too. That's not right. You better be here when I'm here. If I'm here on time, you better be here on time. If I start working, you better be working because we're working at this goal together. It's not mean. It's just very on point. Like, listen, you want my help, you better show up. You better do what you're supposed to do. I'm not pulling your weight and mine. Not doing that. That's not why I'm here. I know it says peace in Aphrodite's love spell, but you have that energy behind you that makes it. This is what solidifies this. Like, you're not playing games. This is literally why they want you, though, because you're literally not letting them just kind of skulk out. You know what I mean? You're not allowing them to. And they realize this. Like, you're not going to put up with that. If they show up late, you're going to be like, oh, hold on. No, you're going to make up for that. And you're going to make sure that you do your fair share. You're like, oh, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Your energy is strong. I keep wanting to say that it's not mean, because it's not. I almost feel like you might be hearing yourself say this stuff, and you're kind of like, why do they have to be like why do we have to get to this point? Why can't they just do what they're supposed to? And you might feel like you're coming across in a mean way. I don't think you are, though, because there's nothing. I don't feel like negative energy, like mean things being said. Just kind of like to the point, like this is how this is, and you're just saying, I'm not putting up with it if you don't do it right. Energy comes forward, and they are coming forward with you. The Tower comes in with is that the Knight? The Knight of Wands. Love it. The energy here, there's fun here. This is not like the worst situation. I think this is a lot more fun than you expect. Because the other person seems to go into this already accepting, like, screwing off is not an option. You show up on time, you do what you're supposed to do, and you put in the same effort, if not more than the Capricorn. Which, it's almost funny. It's like, yeah, I'd like to see that. I almost... You can tell me what you think about that, but I almost feel like somebody, like, showing up like they're going to do more than you, you're kind of like, well, that might last for 5-10 minutes, but when the end of the day comes, I'm going to probably have more done than they will anyway. Because you're steady. You're like, I'm going to have everything done like I'm going to at the end of the day. They may have a lot of energy for a moment, but they're going to peter out, and then when all is said and done, I'll end up with 10 units, they'll end up with 7, but that's fine. They can try. As long as they do what they're supposed to do, as long as they do what I expect of them, that's the whole thing. Because that seems unbalanced, like if you did 10 and they did 7, but I'm getting like, if that's going into this, what you're expecting, like they're going to do 7 a day, you're going to do 10 a day, but you're doing different things. So like they're doing 7 of this thing, you're doing 10 of that thing, but the way it matches up, you're okay with that. That's cool. That's interesting because I'm like, usually it's kind of like, yeah, because you're going to end up, you're Earth, you're a powerhouse, you're going to get things done. But going into this, you know what they're capable of. I don't see, like, if they're doing 7 a day and you're doing 10 a day, you went into it knowing that was going to happen. This is not a shock. And for whatever reason, you've made peace with how that's going to play out, however that's going to go. So going into this, I'm getting positive energy because they already accepted it. Expected, accepted. They knew this was going to happen this way. Like, they're not going to get an easy out. They better not ask for extra breaks. They better not show up late. They better not fluff around and do half-ass job. Not gonna fly here. They got the Lover's card with the Beauty. Sometimes they're not going to want to put in that effort. Sometimes they're going to want to kind of show up a little late, but they're not going to do that, is what I'm getting. They know the terms of the situation. And they're also kind of like, that's why I want to work with the Capricorn. That's a big piece of this. This is why I want to work with the Capricorn, because the Capricorn's not going to let me do that. And I shouldn't do that. They also seem to acknowledge that. They shouldn't be showing up late, screwing off, putting in half the effort. They know they shouldn't be doing that. And you're not going to allow it. It's literally, they're not even trying because they're like, I'm just going to get yelled at by the Capricorn, and that's not fun. So I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. You got the Emperor with the Four of Swords. I feel like you're watching and you're waiting. You're doing what you need to do. You're upholding your responsibilities. That's not a shock. You're going to uphold your responsibilities. You're watching, though. You're keeping an eye on it. But the Four of Swords is telling me, unless you have to say something, you're not saying something. Every now and then I feel like something might slip a little, but then you're keeping like an eagle eye on that. Anytime it slips a little, that person pulls it back up. Like, oh, I gotta catch up before I get yelled at. Or if they like showed up a little late, they're making up for that right off the bat. They're like, okay, I'm gonna like stay a little late tonight, or I'm gonna take that out of my lunch hour a little bit. Something, whatever they're gonna do, they're making sure that they make up for that. Maybe they're gonna be like, oh, okay, I was 15 minutes today, 15 minutes late, so I'm gonna show up 15 minutes early tomorrow to make up for that, or something like that. They're gonna let you know, and you're like, okay. You're like, okay, all right. You seem to be like, okay. Part of you's kind of like, should have showed up on time anyway. But that's fine, as long as you're making up for it. Okay. I don't think you're saying it. I think you're thinking it, by the way. Kind of like, I got here on time. You should have got here on time. But that's okay. You make up for it. It's all right. All right. Can't expect perfection. You're kind of like, okay. In the environment, the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles. Very positive energy here. The Knight of Cups has a tight roll on his pants there. That's just, not to show how old I am, but not that it matters. I'm in my 40s. When I was a kid, they used to do that in high school, and I'm just like, I'm seeing the tight roll. Maybe they do that again. I don't know. It's just it makes me laugh. Kind of like, this guy does have like an 80s feel to him, doesn't he? To me, he does. Anyway, I love this card too. The Queen of Pentacles. Love that. Look how beautiful she is. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. This is what you're dealing with. Somebody who wants to impress you, somebody who wants to keep you happy. This person is really understanding like the dynamic of the success here. Like them working with you, them helping you forward, them working in conjunction with you, kind of like you set the rules, you set the standard, they just got to hold to it and make sure they pull their own weight. This goes great. They just got to pull their own weight. That's all you want. If somebody's going to work with you, you just want them to pull their own weight. If they pull their own weight and do what you expect of them, this can be a great thing. I'm getting this connected here at the end. The courage with the organization. The organization. You're going to be setting up more things with this person. Because I feel like at this point, you've worked with them long enough, kind of like, they get the rules. They understand the rules I'm going to work with here. They're not perfect, but when they screw something up, they make it right. And I think you really like that, to be honest. Like, when they screw it up, they own it, they make it right. there's been so many people I feel like you've dealt with that just like they try to skip away or they just try to ignore something when they screw it up. The fact that this person owns their mistakes, they're not perfect. Sometimes they're a little late, but they make up for the time. Sometimes they don't put in enough effort, but they put in the extra effort later to make sure it balances out the way it should, so they do their fair share. Like, they don't try to take advantage of you. So that's a big thing. Again, not perfect, but they're not trying to take advantage of you. You're organizing something. It takes a little courage because it does make you nervous. That's the courage, that blue one right there. It does take a little courage because you're like, I feel like I'm locking myself in with somebody, and it just makes me nervous to depend on somebody like that because they're not perfect. But I'm also getting like, this is going to be a great connection. This is somebody who's different from you, but adheres to the rules like they need to. They respect the rules of the situation. Because to me, when I'm feeling this come in, it's not like you're looking at this like they're your rules. You're looking at this like, these are the rules if you want success. If you want success, these are the rules. That's just how it is. It's kind of like, you know, you didn't make up anything here. You didn't add something fluffy or something just for fun. Literally, these are the rules how it works. These are the rules you follow for success. And you're like, they're just the rules. And this person understands, and they take you seriously. They hold to the level you need them to. 9 of Cups are really good energy. More is coming in with this person. This person is actually different than you. That's the thing. They work differently than you, but they respect you enough to work with the situation as you've set it out, as you've laid it out. This is somebody you want to keep close to you. Good connection, good energy. It will not be a perfect match, but it will be a very worthwhile match. It's kind of like, this is definitely a different person. I keep trying to say this for a reason. I know that. I just feel like normally you're like, I don't think I match with that energy. But the fact that they're proving that they will follow and do as you say on these certain things because they see the value in it, that's worth it for you. You want to keep this energy around. I think that's the gist of it. You'll learn more as you go along about this person. They just really take you seriously and they really see the value in you. It's just very interesting because I think the whole thing about this, again, they're a much different energy than you. And I feel like your first thought in this is kind of like they're good for a little while, but you don't expect them to have staying power. But the longer they're with you, the more you're like, you know what, they are different, but they're good. This does work. They're enough different to say they're different, but they do adhere to things just enough to where this will work. All right, I don't know. I'm going to shut it down because I feel like it's going to go on forever if I don't. So I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.